Good afternoon, financial professionals. Abby Fletcher here of E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to the BREW, Building Relationships Every Week. Thanks for tuning in today. For those of you joining the BREWcast for the first time, we like to start by celebrating today's National Day for July 14th. Today is National Tape Measure Day. That's right, folks. Today we celebrate this very important tool that dates back to the Romans, when they would make measurements by marked strips of leather. Fast forward to 1868, when Alvin Fellows of Connecticut, USA, was granted the first patent for the retractable tape measure. Today, celebrate National Tape Measure Day like the carpenters do, measuring twice and cutting once. Today on the BREW, as part of our industry advocacy series, we have Suzanne Carawan, who serves as a VP of Marketing and Communications of NAIFA. Today, Suzanne will share more about the organization and their multiple efforts to improve financial literacy amongst Americans. Feel free to use the chat box down below while Suzanne is live. I'll be keeping a lookout for your questions and comments. Also, all attendees are in a drawing for a prize, and we'll be announcing the winner shortly. Thanks for tuning in. And without further ado, I'm handing the mic to Dan Peterson, who serves as president here at E4 Insurance Services, to share his thoughts on our partnership with NAIFA and kick off our conversation with Suzanne. Dan?
Thank you, Abby. Pleasure to be on today. I'm sorry for the background noise because I am driving today, in a car. So to be on the BREW, and what better day than National Tape Measure Day? Financial.
Oh, he's saying something really good too, so I know it. Dan, try it again, please, sir.
Are you not hearing me?
You're coming in clear now, sir. Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I was just saying that I wanted to share a National Tape Measure Day. An important part of financial advisors measuring up is measuring up as a financial advisor. And part of that is the support of your industry, and NAIFA is a key part of that. At E4 Insurance Services, we have partnered in a special way with NAIFA, sponsoring advisors who place the majority of their business with us to help pay for their membership dues within NAIFA, and really be a stronger advocate for our industry, both at the state level and the national level. We're really thrilled to have Suzanne Carawan on today, and I'm Vice President of Marketing and Communications. She's a rising star within NAIFA and has done a lot to really move NAIFA forward. So, Suzanne, I won't take any more of your time, but thank you for being part of this, and thank you for allowing us to partner with NAIFA.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Abby. And it just so happens, I don't know if you saw me kind of lean out of the picture, I actually found a retractable tape measure right at the edge of my desk that I just thought I'd break out for this moment. And I'm going to infuse my talk with as many ways to drop the word measure as possible so we can stay in alignment. So before we get, or as we get started, what I'd like to say also is I really want to thank you for being such a big part of NAIFA and really understanding and supporting the real benefits to belonging to your professional association. So I'm going to talk a little bit about financial literacy, and I'm going to talk about what NAIFA is doing for that. But I'm going to give the backdrop about really where we are today as an organization. And let's talk about, again, what really moves the needle to protect your business. So hopefully you're thinking, somebody needs to pay for COVID. And as our Senior Vice President of Government Affairs likes to say, Congress doesn't have bake sales. Congress raises taxes, or Congress looks at how you can do things that are taxable. So what we need to know as a financial service professional is that this is your business, you've built it, this is your client's wealth, you have all of these opportunities. who's protecting you? And hopefully the answer that you're saying is, you know what, I didn't think about it, but NAIFA's protecting me. But that only works if we can measure, and we do something called political mathematics, which is there's power in numbers. So it's pooling our resources together to make sure that we can come together as one united profession here, and we can make sure that we are doing advocacy work at that state and federal level, that we're protecting your business. And that's really the crux of what NAIFA does. So what we've done is we've said, listen, in today's world, we've got really 5 challenges. So regardless of what kind of practice you're in, we've got 5 challenges that every person in the financial services profession is facing. We have everything from consumers not really understanding that they deserve a financial services professional, having, we need to debunk some myths, like, do I have to have money to have one? We have people that are, we only have 46% of Americans who have the right life insurance. We have people that are underinsured or totally uninsured. We need to solve that. We also know that we need more advisors. We need to update our advisors. We have an expanding and growing Main Street USA, and we need to make sure that we are reflective as advisors to be able to serve those communities. And lastly, we know somebody's got to pay for COVID, as we said. We know that legislators listen the most closely to those people who vote for them. So as a financial service professional, you actually have a dual role, which is you yourself is the constituent of that particular lawmaker, but you also carry forward with you the stories of all of the consumers that you serve, so all of your clients. And so when we talk about NAIFA at the state and federal level, the term that's usually used is we're a formidable force, because as NAIFA, we're able to come in and we're known as the storytellers of the industry. But there's a little piece to there, which is it's all about political math. So if we have to measure NAIFA's influence, we have to say, where are we now? So while we're very powerful and we've got 25,000 members, we've got relationships. We have a member in every congressional district in the United States. We do, last year, even in COVID, we had 200 in-district meetings. We had over 1,300 people come virtually this year to our 2021 congressional conference, which is our legislative fly-in. And we have over 50,000 subscribers to our magazine. And while that's great, it's not nearly enough. It's just not enough. We are not measuring up. We need more people to join our ranks, because we have a lot on the docket here that we need to band together and talk about. One of them being financial literacy, but also really the greater good of financial security. Now, of course, we have 131 track record of doing this and doing it very well. But like we said, there's strength in numbers. So our political math is really saying, are we not only do we have the numbers, but are we engaged? Are we actively getting involved now to make sure that we're there and we're stepping up when the time has come, and the time is now? And that is because if we look at what's on the docket for advocacy and what's actually happening out there, maybe you've heard of the PRO Act. And so the PRO Act is really a labor regulation that would change the way that people are, you go from a 1099 to an employee. And if that has repercussions for you and your business, then, and you're not an NAIFA member, you might want to think this is a good time to do it. If you are a NAIFA member, we need some extra activity out of you, because we need to be there to talk about why that's not going to work for our particular industry. Also, we're seeing at the state level, all sorts of state-run retirement plans pop up. And what we see that is different than past years is that it used to be a very big separation between federal and state, and now it's very fluid. All of a sudden you have the PRO Act originally popped up in California, now it's at the federal level. You have things that pop up at the federal level, then you see it pop up in the state. And NAIFA is the only organization that, if you think of this, has kind of a perimeter. We have early warning detection systems between state and federal, and we kick on all cylinders to make sure that we're constantly protecting, again, your business and the wealth of your clients. But it's really about you. So we band together, where our members are the most powerful of all of the ways that we go about advocacy. The power of the member is really, bar none, the top piece. So again, that political math, and are we measuring up? So we've done a couple of new things here. So if you're a NAIFA member, you can take advantage of this. If you're not, you might want to think about joining, becoming a NAIFA member. But we put on a new grassroots engagement course. And this is important for you to know for two very particular reasons. One, it allows you to figure out, and we will walk you to the shelf, as we like to say. We will teach you everything you need to know about how to be a playmaker in the political kind of arena. So we'll teach you how to grow those relationships, right? How do you get to know the insurance commissioner? How do you get to know your state senator or your congressional leaders? So how can you do that, and how that's good for your business? It's good for your publicity. Of course, it's good for your social influence, but it's also good for the industry, right? It's good for your state, industry, the whole thing. So we teach you how to do that. Like I said, now more than ever, it's really important. For the other thing is, as a timing wise, August comes in district meetings. That means your congressional leaders are no longer in Washington. They're back in their home office. It's a great time to go and meet them because frankly, Capitol Hill is closed. And it's very, it's hard to say when that's going to really open up to a lot of people. So having an opportunity in August right now, as we're coming out of COVID, is an opportune time for you to go in, meet them, greet them, start to develop those relationships and start to talk about why it's so important, the work that you do. So we're out there every day doing that. Second thing is we've given you tools to make it easy. Member or non-member, we don't care on this one. We need you to know who your leaders are. You can use our Advocacy and Action Center to be able to do that. And as I told you at the very beginning, I'm going to make the promise that we're also looking at financial literacy. I think we can all agree, if you're a financial advisor, a good chunk of your day is still doing financial education. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that we're improving financial security overall for Americans, which means that they need to be smarter about money and all of the pieces with that. One of the first ways to do that is to help to ensure that more states adopt the requirement that high school students need to have some element of financial literacy in order to earn that high school diploma. There are more states adopting this every day, but we're helping to make sure that people understand that, and we're raising the profile of our members so that people understand that you can find a NAIFA member to go talk to, regardless of the amount of money that you have, to be able to talk about especially insurance and how you can make sure that, if nothing else, you mitigate your risk and you become a socially responsible and self-reliant individual. So we're doing that work there to help that financial literacy. And of course, we can get more people on the pathway of financial literacy. We can turn that into financial security. And so one of the things that we are really working on at NAIFA is stepping back and saying, listen, do we all understand what a professional association is today, especially for NAIFA? And so we are all bonding together, and this is what NAIFA's always been, but we're really amplifying the brand this year to let people know that if you love what you do and you really love it and you believe in financial literacy and you believe in financial security of the American people, then you need to join NAIFA and be involved if you are a member, because it's a group of people that absolutely resonate at the same level you do too. And again, it's kind of a now more than ever type of scenario where it's time to get involved, because we really have an opportunity right now to make some huge inroads in changing how we're doing a lot of these things, including financial literacy, making sure we keep access to the risk protection products, right? Get more people involved. And as COVID has taught us that we no longer see a huge distinction between health and wealth. Those two have really come together. And if there's one thing Americans understand as we've come through this pandemic, is how health and wealth come together. And this is a great opportunity for us to do more for the clients that you serve and to get more people to take advantage of your services. So in doing that, we have launched a site. We did this a little bit actually before COVID, called financialsecurity.org. And we had to kind of put a little bit on hiatus during the pandemic as we turned to support our legislators with materials and whatnot. But we're back at really now promoting our members. And what we're aiming to do is that we need all Americans to understand that NAIFA members have the good housekeeping seal of approval of being out there in financial services. They ascribe to a code of ethics. They're out there to put their clients' best interests first. And so what we do is we do stories here about our members. This is our consumer-facing site. And the big thing we do is we have a whole Find an Advisor directory that we're now going into consumer markets, direct to consumer, to basically say, if you're working with a financial advisor, and they're not a NAIFA member, you need to either ask them to become one, or you need to be able to distinguish that. So the bottom line here now is, how do you differentiate yourself in the market? And E4 Insurance Services has really helped to say, listen, we believe in NAIFA, and NAIFA is that differentiating factor. And we are very grateful for their support. So only NAIFA members are listed in our Find an Advisor consumer-facing search. It allows the individual to put in all sorts of information about their practice, and even better, has direct link right back to that particular advisor, so consumers can find you, get to know you, et cetera, and contact you directly. We are just a conduit, but you better believe it. We are going to promote our NAIFA members as being the creme de la creme of the industry. And to support that, we also have an online community that goes with that. So if you are a NAIFA member, you can check that out and make sure you're updated your profile and our Find an Advisor tool. And lastly, in order to differentiate yourself further, and then putting that into that Find an Advisor search, we have a number of awards, and we're in award season. Almost all of them close September 30th for applications and nominations to this. But if you weren't aware, NAIFA gives out something called the Quality Award. It's something you might want to apply for. It allows you to do a combination of getting rewarded on a national platform for both your production as well as your participation in the community. So something you might want to check out at the NAIFA Quality Awards. We list everybody. We have an awards ceremony that'll come up, if you can believe it, in person this year in December in Washington, D.C. And we also, for NAIFA, at the national level, we have a Young Advisor Team Leader of the Year award that gets all sorts of press and promotion and publicity. This year's reigning person is Karina Hatfield, but we elect a new one each year. And so again, that will be rewarded in December. We have a Diversity Champion of the Year. So again, national level award recognition that you can apply for. And also we have our magazine is called Advisor Today, and we have a national level of 4 under 40. So if you're under 40 years old and you're doing all sorts of great stuff and you want to get some extra promotion and recognition, it's something you want to think about. But what we try to do is really raise up the profile of our members, letting consumers know what that's all about and why you want to have a NAIFA member and why you want to get on the path there to financial security. And then what we make sure we do is we really help to differentiate you. So those are the pieces I wanted to let you know about. And again, if you're not part of NAIFA, my gosh, come on in, the water's warm. We would love to have that and help you, help us to, again, increase the tape measurement there for the number of members we have. You can visit us online at belong.naifa.org. And from there, you can, of course, browse out. But if you want to go directly to join, go to the join link. And also our Advocacy and Action Center. We have blogs. We have umpteen areas that we do. And of course, we have our magazine. And if you have any questions, you can always drop that to info@naifa.org. So with that, I will turn it back over to you guys. And thank you so much for having me be a part of today's brew.
Thanks, Suzanne, and bravo. I think I counted 3 times you threw measurement out into your presentation.
And then, this is the best part. It's the sound, isn't it? It is retractable.
Well, happy National Tape Measure Day. And thanks for the share. Very informative. Any questions or comments from the audience? The lines are now open. Well, while we're waiting to see if anybody has any questions, I'll speak on behalf of myself. I'm a proud NAIFA member, and as well as the entire leadership of our company also is either served in leadership roles with NAIFA or are just a member in their respective states. So I personally see the benefit of it, and something that wasn't mentioned in your presentation, but the emails are really informative and thought-provoking. So even if time crunch, unable to attend some of the meetings, I still feel informed based on your great email communication. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Abby.
Okay, hearing no questions, now we go right to the drawing, Suzanne. I'm going to have you choose a number between 1 and 15.
Okay, I have the number.
Okay, let us have it.
All right, 11. Okay,
11. Who's the
number
winner?
11? Who's the winner?
Dan, please. Congrats, sir. Be on the lookout for a coffee card and some continuing education coming your way from all of us at E4. And be sure to tune in next week for the brew. We'll be showcasing a recent product launch of instant issue term. We'll have our friends from Symetra on sharing all the good news of Swift term. Thanks for tuning in and make it a great day. Thanks, Suzanne.